Hey there, we're about to tackle one of the most, let's be honest, intimidating topics out there, French wine pairing. It's a world that's just swimming in myths and, well, a little bit of snobbery. So let's uncork this thing and figure out what's real and what's not.
Red with meat, white with fish. Come on, you've heard it a million times, right? But is that piece of advice actually timeless wisdom? Or is it a total myth that we all need to forget? That's the big question we're digging into today. For what feels like forever, the world of wine has been governed by these supposedly unbreakable rules. These golden laws that tell you exactly what you can, and more importantly, what you cannot drink with your dinner. And here they are, the so-called laws that have been scaring diners for decades. Red wine is only for red meat. White wine is only for fish and chicken. Sweet wine, strictly for dessert. Oh, and you better make sure your regional wine is paired with regional food. They're presented like they're absolute, unshakable truths. But where do they even come from? Yeah, it feels like you're taking a test that you can easily fail, right? But what if the whole test is just wrong? What if these aren't really rules at all?
To really get what's going on, we gotta rewind a bit and see where these rules actually started. And it turns out the origins are way more practical and a lot less snobby than you might think.
It really all begins with this beautiful French concept, terroir. All it means is that the local environment, the soil, the sun, the weather, it shapes the taste of everything that grows there. So for hundreds of years, the most logical pairing was, well, whatever was nearby. If you were in Bordeaux raising cattle and growing Cabernet grapes, what do you think was for dinner? Exactly. It wasn't a rule. It was just lunch. And you can see the whole evolution right here. It all started a simple, practical logic in the 1800s. What grows together goes together. But then in the 1950s, the fancy fine dining scene took that simple idea and turned it into a set of strict, rigid rules. Then the 80s hit, and with it came this explosion of global cuisine that just blew up the old European model. And that brings us to today, where, thankfully, personal preference is finally starting to be king.
So this is the really important part. Let's talk about why these guidelines, which maybe made sense at one point, just completely fail in the world we live in now. Why does that old logic fall apart? Let's take a super classic example. The old rule says a big, juicy steak demands a big, powerful red wine. Okay, seems logical. But what about a gorgeous grilled tuna steak? A powerful red would just crush it. A light, chilled red, or, hey, even a bold, creamy white wine could be an amazing match. All of a sudden, that simple color coding thing just doesn't work at all. And today's world is just full of these rule breakers. I mean, think about it. Where does a spicy Thai green curry fit in this old model? What about a rich, complex Mexican mole? They don't. And just saying white wine is totally useless. A zippy, crisp Sauvignon Blanc and a big, buttery Chardonnay are two completely different beasts. We now know that taste is all about the science, the dance between acidity, fat, and salt. And so often, the main flavor on your plate isn't the meat or the fish, it's the sauce.
All right, so let's just go ahead and toss out that old rule book. Instead of trying to memorize a bunch of outdated laws, let's look at a way simpler, smarter, and way more fun way to think about this.
The biggest shift you can make is right here. Stop thinking about pairings as laws that you have to follow perfectly. Instead, think of them as helpful suggestions, just good starting points for your own delicious experiments.
Really, all you have to remember are these three simple W's. First up, weight. Just match the intensity. Light dish, light wine. Rich, heavy dish, rich, heavy wine. See? Easy. Second, what's the sauce? Forget the protein for a second and pair the wine with the sauce or the spices, because that's often the loudest flavor on the plate. And third, the most important W of them all. What do you like? Seriously, the whole point is to enjoy yourself. So the absolute best pairing is always, always the wine you actually love to drink.
Okay, so after all that, after digging into the history and breaking down the new principles, what's the single most important thing to take away from all of this? It's this. It's so simple. There is only one true expert on what tastes good to you, and that expert is you. Not some fancy sommelier, not a critic, and definitely not some dusty old rulebook. Just you. You have to trust your own taste. It really just boils down to this one perfect quote. The only rule of wine is this. If you like it, it's a good wine. That is it. That's the only piece of advice you will ever truly need. So I'm going to leave you with a question. Now that you're free from the old rules, what new, maybe kind of crazy pairing are you going to dare to try?
How about champagne with tacos? Or maybe a chilled rosé with your steak? The possibilities are literally endless. Cheers to that.